Have you ever stood by the ocean and listened? You can hear the rhythmic crash of waves against the shore. You can hear the call of a seabird high above. But there is another sound, almost no one has ever heard. A deep, resonating hum from the darkest parts of our world. Scientists call it the bloop. For years it echoed across the Pacific, its origin a complete mystery. Louder than any known animal, yet with the signature of a living creature. What could possibly make such a noise? That single, enigmatic sound symbolizes the immense, secret world beneath the waves, a world full of questions waiting to be answered. It once baffled the greatest minds and invites us to imagine what else is hidden. The ocean's surface is familiar. We sail upon it. We swim in it. We draw our livelihood from its shallows. But that's only the skin of something far larger. Below lies a kingdom of staggering proportions, profound darkness and crushing pressure, a realm where life's rules are rewritten. The bloop mystery was solved, a massive icequake, but the wonder it sparked remains. It is a curious fact that we have more detailed maps of the surface of Mars than we do of our own planet's seafloor. Think about that for a moment. We have sent rovers and satellites across millions of miles of space to chart a distant alien world. Yet the world right here beneath the blue blanket of our oceans remains largely a mystery. More than 80% of our ocean is unmapped, unobserved, unexplored. It is a staggering amount of territory. If you drained all the water away, you'd reveal a landscape of immense mountain ranges, vast plains, trenches so deep they could swallow Mount Everest with miles to spare. This is the true face of our planet, and most of it is a complete unknown. This lack of knowledge is not for want of trying. The ocean is a formidable barrier. It covers over 70% of the Earth's surface, and its average depth is more than 2 miles. Venture away from the continental shelves and the seafloor plummets into abyssal plains that stretch for thousands of miles. We can use sonar to get a basic outline of these features like a rough sketch in a dark room, but that only gives us the broadest strokes. It doesn't show the fine details, hidden valleys, strange geological formations, or the life clinging to the walls of a deep-sea canyon. As a submersible begins its long descent, the world changes dramatically. The familiar sunlit blue of the surface waters quickly fades, first to a deep sapphire, then to a dusky twilight. At around 200 meters, we enter what is known as the twilight zone. Here, only the faintest whispers of sunlight penetrate. By the time we reach 1,000 meters, we have entered a realm of absolute and eternal night. No sunlight has ever reached these depths. There is no day, there is no night, there are no seasons. There is only a constant, unyielding blackness, a darkness more profound than any we can experience on land. It is a world lit only by the strange, living lights of the creatures that call it home. Along with the darkness comes an extraordinary and relentless pressure. For every 10 meters you descend, the pressure increases by 1 atmosphere. In the deepest parts of the ocean, like the Mariana Trench, the pressure is over 1,000 times greater than at the surface. It is the equivalent of having 50 jumbo jets stacked on top of you. This immense force would instantly crush any human or land animal. It is a physical barrier that has, for most of history, made the deep ocean completely inaccessible. The creatures that live here have evolved remarkable adaptations to not just survive this pressure, but to thrive in it. Their bodies are often soft and gelatinous, with no air spaces that could be compressed. The cold is another constant companion in the deep. Away from the volcanic vents that dot the seafloor, the water temperature hovers just a few degrees above freezing. It is a stable but brutally cold environment. In the perpetual darkness of the deep sea, where sunlight cannot reach, life has had to find another way to see. This has led to the evolution of one of nature's most magical phenomena, bioluminescence. This is the ability of a living organism to produce its own light through a chemical reaction. In the deep, it is the primary language of communication. Flashes, glows, and shimmering patterns are used to attract prey, startle predators, and find mates in the endless black. Some creatures, like the anglerfish, use a glowing lure dangling in front of their mouths to tempt smaller fish into a deadly trap. It is a ghostly, beautiful, and often brutal light show that illuminates the abyss. The scarcity of food has also led to some remarkable adaptations. Many deep-sea fish have enormous mouths filled with long, needle-like teeth. The viperfish, for example, has fangs so long they cannot fit inside its own mouth. They curve back up towards its eyes. This ensures that any meal it manages to find, no matter how large, cannot escape its grasp. Many creatures have also developed expandable stomachs, allowing them to swallow prey much larger than themselves. In a world where the next meal might be weeks or months away, you cannot afford to be a picky eater. Every opportunity must be seized, and evolution has provided the perfect tools for the job. Movement is also different in the deep. Many animals have evolved to be neutrally buoyant, allowing them to hang suspended in the water column with minimal effort. Creatures like the Dumbo octopus, named for its large, ear-like fins, gracefully flap these fins to float through the water like a ghostly character from a child's story. Among the most iconic residents of the deep is the giant squid. For centuries, it was the stuff of legend, a mythical kraken that could pull ships down to the depths. We knew of its existence only from an occasional carcass washed ashore, or the sucker marks left on the skin of sperm whales. It was not until 2004 that the first images of a live giant squid were captured in its natural habitat. This magnificent creature, with eyes the size of dinner plates and tentacles that can stretch for many meters, is a perfect example of how the deep can hide even its largest inhabitants from us. It is a shy, elusive giant that reminds us that monsters of legend can sometimes be real. Then there are the creatures that seem to be from another world entirely. Consider the barrel-eye fish. This remarkable animal has a completely transparent head, filled with a clear fluid. Inside this fluid-filled dome, you can see its eyes. They are large, green, tube-shaped eyes that can rotate within its head. Typically, they point straight up, allowing the fish to spot the silhouettes of prey swimming above it in the faint light of the twilight zone. When it finds something to eat, its eyes can pivot forward to help it target its meal. It is an adaptation so bizarre it looks like something an engineer would design for a deep-sea robot, not something that evolution would craft from flesh and bone. On the seafloor, we find gardens of life that do not rely on the sun at all. Around hydrothermal vents, cracks in the ocean floor that spew superheated, mineral-rich water, entire ecosystems thrive on chemical energy. This process is called chemosynthesis. Here we find forests of giant tube worms, some over 2 meters tall. They have no mouth and no digestive system. Instead, they have bright red plumes that absorb chemicals from the vent fluid, which are then converted into energy by symbiotic bacteria living inside their bodies. These vibrant oases of life, flourishing in total darkness and surrounded by toxic chemicals, suggest that the conditions for life may be far broader than we once imagined. You know, the deep ocean is not just a sanctuary for strange life, it's also, honestly, the world's largest museum. The cold, dark, oxygen-poor environment down there is an incredible preservative. Objects that would quickly decay on land or in shallow water can remain almost perfectly intact for centuries or even millennia on the ocean floor. This has allowed us to find astonishingly well-preserved shipwrecks that act as time capsules, giving us a unique window into the past. One of the most famous is the Antikythera wreck, discovered off the coast of a Greek island. It was a Roman-era cargo ship that sank around 60 BC, and its contents have, well, rewritten our understanding of ancient technology. Within the wreck of the Antikythera, divers found a collection of bronze statues, marble statues, but the most significant discovery was a lump of corroded bronze that turned out to be an incredibly complex mechanical device. Now known as the Antikythera mechanism, it's an ancient analog computer of breathtaking sophistication. It contains a complex system of over 30 interlocking gears that were used to predict astronomical positions, eclipses, and even the cycle of the Olympic Games. Nothing of its complexity was thought to have existed for another 1,000 years. This single discovery, preserved by the deep, really forced us to completely reevaluate the technological capabilities of the ancient world. More recently, the Black Sea Maritime Archaeology Project has been using advanced remote sensing technology to survey the floor of the Black Sea. One vessel, a Greek trading ship from around 400 BC, was found sitting upright on the seafloor, more than a mile down. Its mast is still standing, its rudders are in place, its rowing benches are intact. It looks as if it could have been sailing just last week, not 2,400 years ago. Exploring the deep ocean is, honestly, one of the greatest technological challenges humanity has ever faced. For a long time, our only method was to lower dredges and nets on long cables, blindly dragging them across the seafloor to see what we might pull up. It was a crude but effective way to prove that life existed down there, but it gave us no context. It was like trying to understand a rainforest by randomly grabbing leaves from a helicopter. To truly understand the deep, we needed to go there. This led to the development of human-occupied vehicles, or HOVs, which are essentially deep-sea submarines built to withstand the immense pressure. One of the most famous of these is the submersible Alvin. In operation since 1964, Alvin has made thousands of dives, taking scientists to see the deep-sea world with their own eyes. It was aboard Alvin that scientists first discovered hydrothermal vents and the strange ecosystems that surround them. To explore more widely and for longer periods, scientists increasingly rely on robotic explorers. Remotely operated vehicles, or ROVs, are unoccupied robots tethered to a ship on the surface by a long cable. This cable provides power and sends data, including high-definition video, back to the scientists. They can control the ROV and its manipulator arms from a control room on the ship, allowing for precise and delicate work at extreme depths. The next frontier of exploration involves cutting the cord entirely. Autonomous underwater vehicles, or AUVs, are pre-programmed robotic submarines that can operate without any human intervention. They are sent on missions to map the seafloor or collect data over large areas. It can be easy to think of the deep ocean as a remote, alien world that has little to do with our daily lives. But this could not be further from the truth. The deep ocean is a critical engine for our planet's climate and biology. The vast ocean currents that circulate through the abyss act like a global conveyor belt, transporting heat, transporting oxygen, transporting nutrients. This circulation plays a fundamental role in regulating our weather and climate. Without the deep ocean absorbing enormous amounts of heat, and without it absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, our planet would be a much, much warmer place. The deep ocean is also a vast reservoir of biodiversity. The unique life forms that have evolved in this extreme environment may hold the keys to new scientific and medical breakthroughs. The chemical compounds used by deep-sea organisms could lead to new antibiotics, new anti-cancer drugs, and industrial enzymes. Furthermore, the deep seafloor is rich in minerals that are becoming increasingly important for our modern technological society. Cobalt, nickel, manganese, rare earth elements. All of these are vital for batteries for electronics and for green technologies. However, we know so little about these fragile ecosystems that we cannot possibly predict the environmental consequences. Exploration is therefore a race against time. We must understand these habitats before we make irreversible decisions about exploiting them. Ultimately, exploring the deep ocean is about understanding our own planet. Even with all our new technology, the mysteries that remain are far greater than what we have solved. The deep ocean is still a world of profound questions. One of the biggest is simply, what else lives there? Scientists estimate that there could be hundreds of thousands, perhaps even millions of undiscovered species in the deep sea. Every time we send a camera to a new location, we see something we have never seen before. We are still in the very first chapter of cataloging life in the abyss. Another great mystery is the deep ocean's role in the story of life itself. The discovery of chemosynthetic ecosystems at hydrothermal vents has led to a fascinating hypothesis. Could life on Earth have originated in such an environment? These vents provide a source of energy and chemical building blocks, all sheltered from the harsh conditions on the planet's surface billions of years ago. Exploring these underwater gardens of Eden could provide us with clues about how life can begin, not just on our own planet, but potentially on other worlds in our solar system, such as Jupiter's icy moon, Europa, which is believed to have a deep, dark ocean beneath its surface. We also know very little about the intelligence and behavior of deep-sea creatures. We have seen the complex light displays of squid and jellyfish, but what are they communicating? We know that sperm whales, which can dive to incredible depths, have complex social lives and vocalizations. What do they experience when they hunt in the pitch-black abyss? The deep ocean, then, is our planet's final frontier. It is a world of darkness that holds immense light, the light of knowledge, of discovery, and of wonder. The journey into the deep is far from over. There is a whole other world waiting for us right here on Earth. All we have to do is keep looking down.